We'll call the April 15th, 2024 Triton School Board meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognition of visitors, open forum.
Yes, Kim. Kim Swanson would like to speak.
Hello, I'm Kim Swanson, which you guys all know. I just wanted to, first of all, invite you all to join us on May 7th for the True Team Track and Field Meet. It's being hosted here at Triton. Thank you for your support of Triton hosting events that has been ongoing. We still have some former board members that are helping out at every meet, which is awesome to have folks that are sticking on helping out. And you guys have done a great job making sure we have great facilities for things as well. So we have 21 schools coming on May 7th for the True Team Meet. It's the biggest True Team section in the state. The next biggest is 18 schools. So we've got a good crew of folks coming out. And I think it's going to be a great day for our kids and a great day for our community. Not only are we going to have 2,000 athletes here, there'll also be all the spectators coming along as well. So looking forward to a great and very busy day. But just wanted to, again, thank you for your continued support of all of Triton's programs, including the track program, and also extend the invitation if you're willing, if you're interested in checking out some action. We've got 70 kids out for track this year, which I think it might be our best number ever. And they're doing a great job and working hard. So yeah. That's what I got.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Number 4 is approve agenda. Make the motion to approve our agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Dewey, second by Dale. All in favor?
Oh,
Oh,
we
sorry, roll call vote. Brian is joining us remotely. So Dwayne,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Brian, Maybe.
Yeah.
there we go. Dale,
Yes.
Rebecca, yes, and Wendy, yes. Cobra Pride.
Yeah. This last Friday, we had our final profile of the graduates. So I'd just like to recognize all those students. Jack Hansen, kindergarten, Jeff Tibbetts, first grade, Harrison Hoffman, second grade, Irie Fate, third grade, Will Dowd, fourth grade, Josie Beauchamp, fifth grade, Garrison Becker, sixth grade, Samantha Wilson, seventh grade, Aubrey Sanson, eighth grade, Genevieve Starks in ninth grade, Maya Ocampo, 10th grade, and Skylar Rolstad, 11th grade, and Gage Adams in 12th grade. It's really been nice. The attendance has been great this year, both families and staff attending, and it's a really neat event. So glad that we're continuing to do that, and doing it K-12 has really been neat to see this year. So thank you to the administrators for continuing their work on that.
Who was the staff member recognized?
Joe Hanson and Misty Langley.
Oh, thank you.
Adam Hanson.
Okay. Thank you. Number 6, approve consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second. Motion by Jim, second by Rebecca. Do a roll call vote. Dwayne,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
Rebecca. Yes. And Wendy, yes. New business. 7.1 is to set a time for a special meeting on May 1st, 2024. We have opened up the superintendent position for internal candidates. At this time, we have one
Mhm.
applicant. We need to set a time for a special meeting on May 1st. The intent at this time is to conduct interviews on May 1st. And then set a time for a special meeting to discuss those interviews. O'clock, I believe.
7:15, I don't recall.
For the board meeting.
Yeah,
Yes,
Start the interviews at 5
and the board meeting will be at 7.
to follow.
I would move to set the board meeting at 7.
Motion by Jim, second by Dale. We'll do a roll call vote. Dwayne,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
Rebecca, and Wendy, yes. 7.2, discuss policy updates.
Kind of going through we kind of had a rotation. I kind of narrowed it down. What I'd like to do now is start. So this month I did the 200s. The 100s are done, the 200s, though there were 3 that we needed to update. Really the only change was I don't,
Out of state travel.
Out of
by
state,
School board.
but
members.
out of state travel by school board, the other 2 remain the same. And that's the thing with updating a lot of these, that there haven't been changes, but it's still nice to update the approved dates so we're reviewing them. So there's 3 of those 3 that I shared with you. And then the next ones we would do would be like the 300s and kind of work through it that way, if that makes sense. Any questions on those that I shared with you? They were pretty simple. There's 3 of them. Okay. And then next month we would approve those.
7.3, discuss approved students to attend an overnight trip for the super mileage contest, May 12th through 14th.
So our super mileage group is hoping to go to Brainerd to compete in the ultimately 3-day contest, May 12th through the 14th. So they've gone in the past and competed really well and are hoping to have that same opportunity again this year.
How many students are involved in that?
I believe that there are 5 students.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Dwayne, second by Jim. Roll call vote, Dwayne, Jim,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
Rebecca, and Wendy is yes. Good luck to them. 7.4, enrollment update.
I know this is small print.
Very small.
I'm not trying to hide it. But I will say that we are down 19 students from the beginning of the year, which is not good news. The good news is that where we started the year with our pre-K, and early childhood, that is the one place we've seen growth. We started with 10 and we're up to 16 in early childhood. And we started with 61 and we're up to 66 in preschool. So that is the one place we're seeing growth. Other than that, you can, the numbers on the side, we lost 5 in 2nd grade, 2 in 3rd, 1 in 4th, 2 in 5th. We gained 1 in 6th, down 5 in 7th, down 3 in 8th, down 1 in 9th, down 3 in 10th, down 2 in 11th, and stayed the same with seniors. And I do know that there's some of these were people that lived in the district that have moved out. And I'm anticipating some people that have moved in that I don't know if they will end up enrolling this year, but I know that they do have kids and will be going here next year. It's still that losing end of things that is concerning. Questions?
Seven 7.5, student council report.
Yeah, so about a week ago, we had our annual pancake breakfast down at City Hall, and I want to say we raised around $1,000 for Relay for Life, so we're pretty well. And as of right now, we're just planning for Teacher Appreciation Day. We're just gonna have a little pancake breakfast for them before school. Other than that, we, you know, it's end of the school year, we don't really have too much going on. So yeah, that's about it.
Thanks, Corey.
7.6, SED report.
Yeah, I know Lloyd couldn't be here tonight, but he asked that I share the emergency plan, that crisis response plan that Zed's putting together. So I will put that in your update on Monday. But Zed is looking to approve a crisis management plan, so he just wanted to make sure you had that to review.
AD report.
Cody's on that.
Mhm.
Perfect. I just wanted to highlight a bunch of things that our kids are doing at this point in time. So spring is obviously officially off and running. We look in the pictures, you know, you see pictures from the play that was just from the last couple of weeks. We've got track, softball, baseball, golf finally kicked off on Saturday as well. So it's going, right? BPA Nationals are coming up. As we mentioned before, we've got the super mileage trip that's coming up in May. True Team Track is, as Miss Swanson pointed out before, that'll be a lot of fun. I think it's always fun just to see everybody here. When the parking lot is packed, it's always fun, right? We have prom and post prom coming up on this Saturday, so big thank you to Christy Faber for working with that. She's done an awesome job being able to give our kids a great opportunity with that and working on some fine details with Summerby and all of that. I've been working with Craig on just having there be an activity schedule in the Triton Times for the monthly with a monthly list of activities just for everyone to be able to kind of have a hard copy with it. So I think that was a great idea from him to be able to communicate with people in even more concrete way instead of telling them, oh, just go online, because as we discussed, not everyone can do that easily, right? And then just lastly, I just want to say thank you to the transportation department and the facility staff, because they've been doing an awesome job with us so far. And, you know, as everyone knows, in the spring, it can get crazy with cancellations, reschedules, all of that. But Deb, Dave, Joe, and Travis, Dale, everybody's been working really hard to help out with that. And I just appreciate everybody, and they make my job a lot easier. So yeah. Thanks, everybody. Any questions? Perfect. Thanks, everybody.
And with the activity schedule being in the Triton Times, you know, that came up at the expo. I had a person that lives in our district and doesn't use the internet, and even though they don't have kids in school anymore, they still want to come to the events, which is awesome. And after talking through it and thinking about it, it's like, you know, that would be a great way, because that goes to every person in our community. So that'll be neat to have that on a monthly basis now, so people can keep track of it and attend all of the awesome events that we have happening.
7.8, principals report.
You guys going to cover for Mr. Van Beek's at kindergarten roundup?
You can do that. We added the profile of a graduate. I know Mr. Schlichting, he talked about this first, but once again, just a fantastic time and opportunity to recognize our students. I think the day-to-day in a school, sometimes you might tend to focus on what needs to improve as opposed to what's going well. So it's always a refreshing start to your Friday when we have our profile of a graduate. So congratulations to those students.
And really, one of the neat things is when the staff members get up and speak to why they gave the award to a student is pretty neat to hear a lot of the amazing things that are happening in classrooms. So kudos to the staff for the recommendations that they make.
And the really fun part for me, knowing a lot of these older students since they were in 4th and 5th and 6th grade and seeing them come through. Not to mention anybody specifically, but to see the progress these students have made from 4th and 5th to 6th grade, to say, well, you are on a great path. So sometimes it's a dramatic turnaround for kids, and sometimes they just continue doing well. But really fun to see our students and their experience here on, I know.
I always call them to the office when I know they're receiving the awards so that we can make a phone call home and tell parents about it together. And so just their look on their face when they come into the office, because they're not usually that are in the office. Like, what do you want? So that's always a fun moment for me, those fun phone calls home. I really enjoy that. so.
Scaring the heck out of
Well,
them.
actually,
Well, the
yeah.
kids love it. They love it. The biggest challenge for me with this is trying to single it down and find a few students. And obviously, we have our staff that take responsibility in doing that because they are the ones describing the students, but trying to find ways to extend that then beyond just the profile of a graduate, because we do it 4 or 5 times a year, 1 student per grade, obviously, you know. The numbers on that are nice, but we could honor more students as well. All right, Mr. Van Beek's information, do you wanna just go every other here?
Sure,
Ms. Johnson,
yes.
if that's okay?
Yes.
The elementary school has started MCAs. Will they start this week, I believe, tomorrow? Is that correct? With reading, and math will be the next week. So far, the MCAs, our sophomores have done the reading test. And the middle school, you've done reading as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Okay.
And they did their roller skating, and I can remember all of my kids doing that roller skating unit too. So always a highlight. They love it. So yeah, the students and staff had a great time with their roller skating unit.
The kindergarten roundup is tonight. Currently, there are 38 students that are signed up, expecting that number to grow. But that's where we're at presently. Obviously, it'll grow tonight and hopefully throughout the summer as well.
And the online registration through Infinite Campus, that's something that Mr. Van Beek and then Whitney in the office in the elementary has been working very hard at getting up and going. So I appreciate them taking the lead on that and.
Are you all familiar with that? Do you know what that change is? At the beginning, they are.
No, I was gonna
Okay.
say, yeah, that would be a good thing
Well,
to,
at the beginning of the school year, if you've enrolled
Mm-hmm.
at Triton before, and I've had conversations with my own family. With this, regardless of what grade your child is in, you come in at the beginning of the year or at an open house or meet the teacher. And there's the contact card you fill out every year, and there's a packet of information. So the goal is to simplify that as much as we can and not let that be a barrier to enrollment. Right? We don't want that to slow anybody down. So it's set up now online where families can go and enter all that information. And then if you are a continuing student, we'll have a time later in the summer or in the fall where you go, you log in and let's say you have a change of address or a change in a contact information or something like that. You'll update that once a year. So it's pretty slick.
and if you're a parent with 4 kids, you would have appreciated that back in the day.
I was just adding it up.
I think they have a big stand.
Filled that out 48 times.
So that was some feedback that we've received from our families, but believe it or not, it's more of a difficult change than what you think when you're used to and accustomed having that contact card and that emergency information to then take that and put it in the system. But for the operations of our offices, it should be much more efficient. It might be a little tricky for a year or two until our families are used to doing it, but it should be a value add for us moving
For
forward.
sure.
Mr. Van Beek wanted to send some thanks out for the science fair. If you remember the science fair from previous years, it was, I believe the whole grade, was it in 5th grade they used to do that? Or
4th and 5th.
4th and 5th. So now there is a change in that where, it is an enrichment-based activity now. And it just took place. And now what they do with the whole group now is they do a market day. And Mr. Van Beek wanted to make sure that I explained that is an all-inclusive activity where all the students participate, not in the science fair, but in the market day.
Question. With that being online, those cards being online and that fill out, if there's an emergency, you have access to that on the computer off site then, instead of having to grab the cards and go.
Yes, all of that should be available as long as you have an internet connection.
Each office building still does have what we call our crisis to go bags, so we
Yeah.
do have it printed off and then in the bags too, just.
So there'll be a backup for it as well, but
Okay.
yes, you're absolutely right, and all of it should be available online now because they take the card and they input
Yeah,
the information. So I think it's an efficiency piece for our families and for our office staff more than anything. That makes sense?
thank you.
So as mentioned in the middle school, we have our MCAs rolling. So we started with reading last week for all of the students, 6th through 8th grade. This week, we're finishing up some of the students that were absent or just needed more time to make that up. We have 6th grade math going this week, and that was a bit of a change. They were scheduled to go next week, but with our Eagle Bluff trip, we had to make a little adjustment. So 6th grade is going this week for math. And then 7th and 8th grade will be the following week for math. And then we end with that first week in May with 8th grade science. So we've got several weeks of MCA testing going on at the middle school. Very excited for next week to have our Eagle Bluff trip for the 6th grade class. We have 52 students and 5 staff and 5 parents that will all be staying overnight, and then some parents coming down for the day, as well as a student that's just going for the day too. So we have some classes scheduled there. I listed them. So every student there will rotate through 4 classes. They'll get to do the river hike, a settlers class, which is kind of neat because they're learning about that in Minnesota history right now. They'll get to go into the woods and solve a mystery using some GPS devices, and then do a high ropes course. In the evening, we have 2 different naturalist programs that are going to take place, and one night we'll do a night hike and the other night we'll do a campfire. We are inviting families on April 23rd, so we're calling it our family night, where they're able to come down, join us for the naturalist program, stay for the campfire, do s'mores, just see Eagle Bluff and have some time with the kids there. So we're looking forward to that next Tuesday evening. So. And then just looking ahead, the end of the year is fast approaching. We have a few special things planned that I thought I would just mention. 7th and 8th graders are learning about the Holocaust. Mrs. Nesseth has scheduled a Zoom session with a Holocaust survivor. So our 7th and 8th graders will get to go to the PAC on April 25th and be a part of that. On April 30th, the 6th grade gets to go to Fort Snelling in the state capitol. So again, an annual trip that they've done for many years. So lots of fun stuff for the 6th graders. And then we always end the year with some special things for our 8th grade. So the Valley Fair trip has been an annual tradition for the 8th grade. And then along with our 8th grade recognition program. And that's on May 30th, and you're all invited to be a part of that if you'd like. It'll take place at 1:30 in the afternoon.
I got a quick question. So, and the MCAs, when they take the math, is there ever any studies on like, if you're taking a first class versus last class versus the middle, or, you know what I mean?
I'm not sure if there's been studies on it. It's something that, yeah, we're looking at. to
Because I'm
determine
just
what's
thinking,
best.
if you're at the end of the day versus, I wouldn't want to be the first either, you know what I'm saying? You're not quite awake, but then you're tired, so.
Sure, yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll have some data with that. It's a little bit of a different approach. We've tried it a couple of ways.
Yeah, this-
Working with staff and feedback, they preferred it during the scheduled classes, but we'll definitely have some data points and we're able to break that out based upon who took it when.
I just didn't know if there was kind of a,
What's best, sort of thing.
yeah, what's the best outcome, I guess.
All right, in terms of the high school, I know during the student council report, Mr. Corey here said, and we did a pancake breakfast and that's about it for the end of the year. And although he's right, it's important you said that because having some perspective a little bit, and I jotted a few things down, the things our students and staff have been involved in over the last 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. So we have the MCAs. As you can tell up there, we did a college tour, the pre-ACT, the ACT, and the ASVAB. We've had small and large group music contests. We've had the start of spring sports. We've had state BPA. Okay, we have state FFA. We're preparing for nationals for BPA as well. A number of our students are involved in JO volleyball and super mileage, and I know I'm missing a ton of other things going on, and I apologize to those groups I missed. But the point is, as Corey said, well, we did a pancake breakfast. To be honest, I don't know how you squeeze anything. Right? Because if we talked about this at the staff meeting last week, and you look at this, a number of our students that are involved in a number of these activities. And it's important this time of the year that we really lean into that and take care of each other as staff and students as well, because you might feel it, it's only Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm tired this week. Yes, you're tired. That's because all of this is going on, and it really provides us an opportunity to help our students learn the skills to manage that. But there is a lot going on for sure. And this time of the school year, it doesn't slow down much. It changes gears a little bit. It's prom week around here, so we'll have that excitement. And then we transition to preparing for the senior awards and finishing up MCAs. So big things we're working on this year at this point is staffing, and making sure we're good to go for next year. I know the consent agenda the past few months has been busy with that, and it will continue to be. So we're working hard on that. And the next piece, the registrations should be completed for all students entering grades 9 through 12. So working through that and making sure it goes with the staffing, right? To make sure we have the appropriate staff in the appropriate place. To make sure we can offer not only just courses, but the courses our students want and the courses that are preparing them for a pathway that they want to explore when they're done. So prom is this week. Excited for that. It doesn't look like the weather is going to be fantastic on Saturday. I think they're calling for mid-40s and a chance for rain, but hopefully we'll be able to get to Summerby and everybody's hair and everything will be great. So the e-learning day, I know Miss Swanson, she talked about the True Team track meet going on that day as well, but just a reminder for our board that what we do that day is our students complete their activities online that day. So they submit attendance, at least at the secondary, they submit attendance electronically. And then the days preceding that day, our staff should be having conversations with the learning experiences that students should be responsible for during that time. They'll post it as well, and staff will be available to meet online with students if they need some feedback. So just a quick reminder, the senior activities, I think most of them are probably counting the days at this point. Over the course of the past week and a half, I've had an opportunity to visit with all the senior SEM course groups, where we go through kind of a punch list of items for the end of the year, reminders on graduation, how to finish the year strong, and dates and information. Our seniors have received their caps and gowns now. So that's an important day. They're excited about that. But just a couple quick reminders on dates. Our academic awards and scholarships on May the 15th. We have our academic pep fest during the school day on the 17th of May. And that's a change. I believe this is the 3rd or 4th year we've done it this way before. If you received a letter for academics 9 through 12, you were invited to that senior award night, that academic awards. That got to be a little bit long. So we do some stuff in the school day. Baccalaureate, I'm not sure if we've talked about this directly with the board or not, but if you remember a year ago, instead of doing it on Wednesday, we moved it to a Sunday because there were some sports experiences on Wednesday. There are sports experiences again on Wednesday this school year. Miss Swanson, there's track meet that night. And Mr. Black, correct me if I'm wrong, it's usually a baseball playoff date, or it has been in softball, depending if they're winning in the playoffs. And working with the ministerial group, based upon the numbers that attended on Sunday afternoon, they thought it was best to leave it on Wednesday. So we may have a couple of families with a conflict, but we hope to maximize participation by leaving it on Wednesday. The seniors' last day on boards, May the 22nd. Just to go back to that day, there will be sports experiences, but our senior SEM instructors and our advisors, they do a nice job of being flexible with students and scheduling their boards at a time where they can make sure if they're departing on a bus or they have a scheduled conflict, we make that work. Graduation and grad practice, just a reminder for everybody. I know Rebecca and I, we had a short conversation about this earlier. It is Friday this year, and that is a change. We tried to be as proactive with communication on that as we possibly could. I haven't received much for feedback or questions, I'd say, in the past few weeks on that. But there will be some surprises, right? Especially as the date approaches. So we tried to be proactive about that. We put out a survey on what families prefer. And I'll be honest with you, a lot were Friday, some were to leave it on Sunday, and some were even on Saturday. So just wanted folks to know that we want to try it on Friday night. We'll put it out again after this school year and see if our public has other thoughts or opinions at that time. So graduation practice at 9 o'clock in the morning on May the 31st, followed by our senior walk. So if you are participating as a board rep at graduation, you're welcome to come into the practice if you want. At 9, don't feel like you need to. That's up to you. We can go through a little tutorial, and I know a lot of you have probably participated in graduation ceremonies more than I have. So you probably know what's going on there, but if you want to come into practice, you're welcome to do so. Then the senior walk after that through the halls, and then Friday night graduation at 7 p.m. on May 31st. I don't know I can't remember if there's another slide or not, Mr.
No.
Schlichting. Okay, questions, thoughts? Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank you. Seven point nine, superintendent's report.
Yeah, just a couple things. Pre-K enrollment, we're already up to 69. It was 63 last week. Remember, we started the year this year with 60, and this time last year, there was probably about 50. Christy said they gained about 10, from the end of the school year to throughout the summer to get to that 60. So seeing that we're already at 69, very encouraging. She thinks that we still have a month left of school, and still getting enrollments coming in. So that's looking really good. I just wanted to give you a quick update. There was an action alert, from MSBA on the ESST. And it was both in the House and the Senate, to allow accrued sick time to be used as ESST. That would not be a good thing for any of the school districts. So, just an FYI, if you talk to any of your legislators, remind them that that's not a favorable thing for schools. So that's all I had. Any questions? They did have I believe the House has passed their omnibus bill, and the Senate is in the process. So we're getting close to the end of the session.
Any other?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay, motion by Dale, second by Dwayne to adjourn. Do a roll call vote. Dwayne,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
and myself, yes.